Hello guys, I hope you are happy and fine at your place. Today, we will be beginning the chapter Solid State. It is a very important chapter of class 12 chemistry and plays an important role in your NEET exam as well. We will start this chapter with the basics and will gradually cover the advanced concepts. In between, we will deal with the numerical portion and will cover the type of questions asked in NEET exam. Let's begin with the chapter. From the earlier classes, we have learned that there are three states of matter. Solid state. In solid state, the matter are having shape which is fixed and volume which is fixed too. For example, apple, salt, ice, wood, etc. So, shape and volume of solids are fixed. In liquid state, the shape of matter is not fixed, whereas the volume is fixed. Let's take an example of milk. If we pour milk in a circular container, it attains a circular shape. And if we pour milk in a cylindrical container, it attains a cylindrical shape. This is the property of liquid. Gas is a state of matter which is having shape that isn't fixed and volume which isn't fixed too. So in gases, neither the shape nor the volume is fixed. Let's focus on solids. This chapter is of solid state. Yeah. Okay. So solids are everywhere around us. Your study table is made up of solid. Your pen is solid. Pencil, your clothes, all these are solids. Now what constitutes a solid? What are the general characteristics or properties of solids? We will discuss it now. Here are the general characteristics of solids. Solids are having fixed mass, fixed volume and fixed shape. For example, let's take the example of your mobile phone. Your mobile is having a shape which is of rectangular or almost rectangular in shape. And let's assume that it is having a mass of 150 gram and a volume of 100 centimeter cube. If you take your mobile phone to US or UK or to Canada, its shape will not turn circular. It will be the same mobile phone with the same rectangular shape with the same mass of 150 gram and same volume of 100 centimeter cube. So this is the property of or characteristic of solid, that the mass is fixed, volume is fixed and shape is fixed. The second characteristic of solid is that the constant particles of solids have fixed position. Here, what are the constant particles? As we know, everything in this world is made up of particles, and so are solids. In solids, the particles are arranged somewhat like this. The blue circles here are the particles, and the brown rods here are not rods or bonds, they are interparticle forces. We will discuss them afterwards. So, the particles of solids are fixed at their position, but they can move very little, but not very large. The movement is very small. The next characteristic of solids is that particles of solid can move or oscillate only around their mean position. Let's have a look at this structure of solids. This red dot here represents the mean position of the particle. And what is the mean position? The position at which particle is fixed is called the mean position. This mean position does not oscillate or moves, whereas other particles around this mean position oscillates or moves with respect to this mean position. this mean position is fixed, but other particles like this one here will move or oscillate with respect to this. And how is the oscillation taking place? It is somewhat like a string, just like a string tied at both ends. So the oscillation can be like this, downwards or upwards, or is actually like this. So with respect to this mean position, the particle can vibrate like a string, upward or downward. Constant vibration is there. You will learn this in higher classes, that if we say that something is fixed, it is not actually fixed, as vibrations are always there. Vibrations are always there. Constant vibrations are there. So this was the third characteristic of solid. Now coming on to next characteristic, which is strong intermolecular forces in particles are there. When we were discussing the structure of solid, I told you that these blue particles were the particles constituting in solid, but the brown rods, there were not rods or bonds, they were intermolecular forces. Now all the particles of solid constitutes these intermolecular forces. These forces could either be of attraction or repulsion, and the vibration which is taking place, the oscillation which is taking place in these particles with respect to the mean position, is only because of this force of attraction or repulsion. Another characteristic of solid was that interparticular distance is short. Let's have a look at the interparticular distance of the solids. The particles are arranged just adjacent to each other, whereas in liquid state the particles are not just adjacent, but there is a gap in between them, and in gaseous state a wide gap is there between the particles. This is the next characteristic of solid, that the interparticular distance between the particles of the solids is very less. Now let's talk something about the intermolecular forces. These intermolecular forces which are connecting the particles of solids are strong, and if they were weak forces, the particles will not stay together, like in this case. In the gaseous state, the interparticular forces are weak, and so the particles are spread out like this. Whereas in solids, the intermolecular forces are strong, so they keep intact, or they attain a particular shape, and they are difficult to separate. That's why we can see that it is very difficult to cut a solid or to separate it, but it is very easy to separate the molecules of gases. So what is the conclusion of this? Here we discussed about the introduction, what are the solids, what are the characteristics of the solids, and these were the few characteristics of solids. They are having fixed mass, volume and shape. The constant particles were having fixed position. Particles of solid can move or oscillate only around their mean position. Strong intermolecular forces were present, and interparticular distance between the particles of the solids were short. So in next video, we will be discussing about the amorphous and crystalline nature of solids. Stay tuned. Thank you.